Morning, everybody, and I'm Thank Director Clark and George Speaks, the Department of Public Safety, Chief Bryant, Assistant Chief Botker, the Division of Police, Director Orp, and the Director of Technology. Our community partners, particularly President Nana Watson and everyone at the NAACP. I'm so excited to join you all today as we launch the next generation of our city's body-worn camera program. This is an essential component to policing reform, trust, and transparency. But work on this program began all the way back in 2015 when I was still president of Columbus City Council. Since then, and when the program began in earnest in 2016, nearly 3.5 million videos have been captured. And our city has led the way in shaping the laws that determine how these videos are preserved and maintained as a matter of public record. And I just want to pause for just a moment to thank Deputy Director George Speaks. So when I was council president and in my first year as mayor, George took this over and has done an incredible job. And really has become recognized as a national leader in this work, helping us get the laws on the book and really becoming best in class. I've shared this with him privately. I want to thank him again publicly. George, we're safer and stronger because of you, and I want to thank you for your work. Our advocacy and the results we've achieved have consistently been celebrated as an example to which other cities should aspire, and we're proud to help lead the way. We've learned a lot in the intervening years. Experience has taught us time and time again just how powerful and important footage from these cameras can be when discerning precisely what transpired, who did what, when particular actions are called into questions, and sharing that footage as quickly as possible with the community. All this improves our understanding of an encounter and of each other. When events unfolding at lightning speed, sometimes in the midst of great chaos and confusion, and when a thorough and objective assessment is required to determine the facts. Camera footage has proven invaluable in holding our officers accountable and administering justice, like when Andre Hill was tragically shot and killed by an officer. But it also has illuminated moments of tremendous bravery and heroism, like when our officers and sheriff's deputies from the county exchanged fire with an active shooter on I-270 last March. The benefits of this technology and of this program are virtually endless. Technology, however, has continued to change and improve, and we've identified where enhancements are needed to further strengthen functionality and accountability. The historic collective bargaining agreement we secured last year with the Fraternal Order of Police included significant reforms to the city's body-worn camera policy and paved the way for critical improvements such as automated activation, expanded pre-event recording, and enhanced video recall capabilities and procedures. Like many of the other reforms in this contract, these changes advance 21st century community policing as a matter of principle and practice in the city of Columbus. All of these elements and more will be included in the next generation of this program, and you'll learn much more about them momentarily. But first, I want to acknowledge Public Safety Director Robert Clark, Deputy Director George Speaks, Police Chief Elaine Bryant, Assistant Chief Greg Botker, Director of Technology Sam Orth, and all of our incredible community partners for their leadership, their collaboration, and their commitment to creating the very best plan and the very best solutions. We are excited about this work and the incredible work ahead. We would be excited at this point to introduce, I think we're going to, Director Clark to share a few words. But before that, I also want to acknowledge our vendor, Axon, for assembling such a comprehensive proposal and for helping us to take this program to the next level. Jeff Childs, Axon's National Director, is here with us today as well. Jeff, thank you for being here. Your partnership will be absolutely essential in the weeks and months ahead. Now, I'd like to introduce Director Clark to say a few words. Director?
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everyone, and again, thank you for being with us. In today's technological age of law enforcement, body cameras are essential to an officer as their badge and gun. Yet many jurisdictions across the country have yet to implement this vital technology. The advances in video camera technology are remarkable compared to the cameras that were first deployed in Columbus in 2016 and have been in use ever since. The arrival of this next generation technology in Columbus is a win for accountability and transparency. It's a win for building trust with our community, and it's a win for officer safety. All of that makes this a win for public safety and for public service in our city. Here is a look at what the city is getting as a part of our agreement with Axon. 2,105 body cameras. That's enough for every officer in the Division of Police. A 3-year refresh program on body-worn camera hardware, which will keep us on the leading edge of any technological advancements. 450 in-car cameras that come equipped with license plate readers. This will outfit our entire fleet of police. 16 interview room cameras to assist with interviews. 75 Flex 2 units, which allow cameras to be mounted on tactical gear for our SWAT and task force officers. So having covered the quantity of cameras, now let's turn to the quality of these cameras and the enhanced features that will aid our officers, protect our residents, and greatly improve our transparency. The Axon 3 camera is designed to do the following. It reduces motion and blur. It utilizes 4 microphones which balance themselves to capture clear audio. Synchronized body-worn cameras and in-car camera video feeds, and this allows for automated activation and overlapping views and automatic video tagging. It also captures audio and video content up to 2 minutes prior to activation, which will enable a 2-minute look back should we need to have that, both audio and visual. Body-worn cameras can also recall video up to 18 hours following an incident. In-car cameras can recall video up to 24 hours following an incident, again, should we need it. In-car cameras include license plate readers to improve officers' situational awareness. Now we'd like to do a little show and tell for you this morning, so you can see for yourself the difference between our current system and the new system. We're going to play a low-light video for you. On this slide, the video on the right has advanced low-light capture, which utilizes minimal light sources to illuminate the camera surroundings. It surpasses what can be seen by the naked eye, which is represented on the left. We are also going to play a clear frame playback. On this slide, the video on the right is utilizing clear frame playback, which allows for a more clear image when reviewing the video captured, and the video on the left is not utilizing this feature. Now we will play a synchronization. The 4 videos on this slide were captured at the same time from 4 different devices, body-worn cameras and in-car cameras. As you can see, the camera technology synchronizes the video feed to allow for multiple perspectives of the same event. The Axon system features the ability to automatically activate other cameras in close proximity to one another that has been activated. As we review this video, and in closing, I would like to thank Mayor Ginther for his $19 million investment, which will help bring greater efficiencies to our Division of Police, helping to bring greater efficiencies to our Franklin County criminal justice system, and which will help to establish a strong foundation upon which we will build the real-time crime center in the time to come. To discuss this more in detail for our officers and how that will impact their work in the Division of Police, I welcome to the podium Assistant Chief of Police, Greg Bacher.
Good morning, thank you. My name is Greg Bodker, Assistant Chief with the Columbus Division of Police. I'd like to acknowledge everyone here today for their hard work and commitment in getting to this important point. Thanks to all of you, today we enter a new transparency in policing. Part of this selection process included a 6-week officer field trial where 30 police officers from Columbus from a number of subdivisions were selected to test the cameras from the final 2 vendors. Testing was conducted throughout the city and during all hours and all shifts. This preparation included establishing network infrastructure, installing cruiser video systems, and training. The remaining 4 weeks were used for equipment evaluations. A majority of the participants commented that both systems were a vast improvement over our current system. At the end of the 6-week field trial, Axon was selected by officers as the preferred option. One of the great advancements in this next iteration of body-worn cameras is automated activation. While officers can still operate and activate body-worn cameras manually, the Axon 3 offers automatic activation. This will improve the likelihood that video evidence is captured. Automated activation from a weapon being removed from a duty belt will be evaluated through a trial period with 100 different devices. As Director Clark showed us, this system includes the integration of the body-worn camera and the in-car camera. This allows for body cameras to automatically activate anytime that a cruiser's lights or sirens are activated, when a rifle or shotgun holder is released, when a cruiser accelerates at a high rate of speed, or when a cruiser is involved in a collision. All of these fail-safes and redundancies assist our officers in complying with the division's body-worn camera directives and dramatically reduce the risk of operator error in emergency situations that require urgent decisions. This next generation technology also offers valuable efficiencies for our personnel. For example, the Division of Police currently expends a significant amount of time and effort to manually download video onto storage devices such as compact discs and thumb drives. These storage devices must then be transported to the Franklin County Prosecutor's Office as well as the City of Columbus Prosecutor's Offices. In addition, we also manually transport those and transfer them to residents who have made public records requests. This next generation technology is cloud-based, so that data can be shared electronically. Likewise, the respective prosecutors' offices can electronically access and share the video evidence with defense counsel. Given the volume of video evidence and public records requests, the cloud solution will undoubtedly enhance our records distribution process, reducing the time and effort required from division personnel. Second, the Axon Cloud solution and linkage to our computer-aided dispatch system and records management systems help set a strong foundation for a future real-time crime center. We're proud to announce that we're the first jurisdiction in the country to negotiate unlimited storage of video evidence, in which we will be able to store not only video captured by the Axon cameras, but also legacy video from our prior vendor and non-Axon sources like neighborhood safety cameras and videos sent from the public, from cell phones or private cameras. Again, this helps to establish a strong foundation on which to build a future real-time crime center that ingests and quickly utilizes video evidence. In the end, these cameras exist to collect evidence that can be used for greater transparency and accountability, and to either prosecute or exonerate. Ultimately, The Axon evidence system is significantly more advanced than our current system and will provide a strong foundation on which to build a future real-time crime center. One of the people who played an important role in this selection was NAACP President Nana Watson. Please welcome President Watson to share her perspective.
Thank you so very much. On behalf of the NAACP, I bring you greetings from the oldest and boldest civil rights organization in America. I'd like to thank our mayor, my friend, the NAACP's friend, Andrew Ginther, for including the NAACP from the beginning of this important process. We have seen the tragic loss of life as a result of actions taken by law enforcement across America and in our community. The NAACP and people of color across the country are demanding reform and bold action in rethinking policing. The NAACP believes video technology in the form of body cameras and in-car cameras is a fundamental part of broader police reform, as well as a critical tool to hold law enforcement more accountable and ensure more transparency. We believe the greater the transparency, the greater the public trust, which improves safety for both the public and the police. In 2016, the NAACP applauded our mayor for being at the forefront as Columbus was a national leader in implementing first-generation body cameras. Given the importance of this technology, I gladly accepted Mayor Ginther's invitation to serve on the next generation body camera. But what you didn't know, I served on this selection committee, and by the way, Mayor, you failed to tell me at the time of the invitation how much work that would entail. Thousands of pages were read, countless videos watched, presentations by some outstanding videos were made, an insightful discussion was had between members of the committee and the subcommittees, and thank you for that. The task of the Body Camera Selection Committee was to improve the next generation of camera technology to Columbus. And today, I am so happy to say we have succeeded. Let me say again, the greater the transparency, the greater the public trust, which improves safety for both the public and the police. We look forward to seeing the benefits of these new cameras for our entire community. Again, Mayor, thank you so very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Nana. I appreciate all those hours and service, and we wouldn't be here without you, and so we're grateful for that. We're grateful for the entire community's engagement in this work, their passion, their honesty, their insights. Today's announcement is another step forward for public trust, for public safety, and for innovative city services. We will begin implementation this summer and bring the enhanced program fully online next spring. And we will continue to keep our eye on what's new and what's next, and learn how we can do more and do better to bring about the kind of changes that enable Columbus to become the very best city we can be. We'll be happy to take any questions. Lacey, good morning.
Morning. After Andre Hill's death, there was obviously a lot of discussion about the time period of the look-back function and of the audio. How did you come to the conclusion of 2 minutes? Why is that the sweet spot?
Yeah, you know, I'd be happy to have either Deputy Director Speaks or Director Clark speak to that. We think that really gives us an informed look back timeframe to when decisions are made. We know how quickly things can happen, when there's that interaction with law enforcement. And so we thought that was an appropriate amount of look back. But Deputy Director, you want to speak to that? Probably come up here, Deputy Director.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor.
Line of fire.
2 minutes is also what the technology allows for. The improvement here with the FOP contract and the latest cameras, before it was a 2-minute look back only on video. With the next generation, it's both audio and video.
So do you have FOP agreements on both the audio and on the video then?
Yes, that was secured earlier.
Thank you, Deputy Director.
Talk about what additional training may go into this for the officers, and additionally, is there any sort of override features that officers could override, potentially any of the new features that are involved with this technology?
I don't believe so, but Assistant Chief, you want to speak to that? In additional training for officers?
Sure. So much as we did 7 years ago when we initially rolled out body camera technology, our officers will receive in-person and training through electronic means within the division. Obviously, all patrol personnel in uniform will be equipped with the new body camera as they're equipped with body cameras currently. The second question, as far as overriding, it's not possible, and so I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that, but if your question, can an officer edit, delete, alter a video, is that your question?
My question is, could an officer in a situation, if they knew that they were about to discharge, is there a possibility that they could override any of those features that, again, would automatically turn those cameras on?
They could manually turn off a camera, but that is one of the benefits of the look back period, that we have the ability to go back and look at the video, even if it was manually turned off. And the question often comes up, can an officer delete, edit, change a video? That's not possible. Additionally, there's a footprint who touches the videos, and we have the ability to look back on that as well.
And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Director, Assistant Chief, it is now against police policy and against the law to not activate that camera when responding to a call for service. So that would be illegal and against division policy to do that. Yes?
So you said that plans on phasing these new cameras in. How does that work? I'm going to guess patrol officers get them first. Can you kind of explain that a little bit clearer?
So this will be, again, a $19 million very complex undertaking. It actually begins with the technology. We have to interface our CAD system, our records management system. We'll then start rolling them out. After the contract is signed, we'll be sitting down with Axon and doing a very thorough Gantt chart with milestones. But in addition to the body cameras, we will have to install cameras in 450 of our in-car cruiser cameras. So it's going to be a major undertaking over about 9 month to a year period.
So I was just going to ask, when can residents expect to see the new body cameras and these license plate readers?
Our goal is to finish full implementation by spring of next year.
No pressure to Axon, but we were on time and on budget with the first iteration. So we fully expect to be on track and on budget. Yes, sir.
So just to clarify, it's next spring when they'll start to be rolled out, not this spring.
I don't think it'll be completed by next spring. It'll start this summer? Is that
Yes.
correct?
June.
June.
And that's when the testing will begin. You said there'll be some officers that will go out and do field testing with them.
I think that testing already took place when we were choosing vendors, going through that selection process. Is that right, Assistant Chief?
And not to harm, sorry, one more
Yeah.
place and then you can go. Can you just go over one more time, for people to fully understand, with the automated rollout and the automated process, it seems to be one of the biggest benefits of this new system compared to the old one. Can you just clarify when the camera will automatically turn on? Is it at any point if an officer gets out of his cruiser and has an engagement with someone, does the camera automatically turn on then? Or does it involve,
Yeah.
just as you
There's a
mentioned?
variety of triggers, but I don't know who wants to take that. Assistant Chief, kind of just reiterate that.
And Axon or Director Speaks can jump in here if I miss any, but generally speaking, it's not just any time an officer exits their cruiser that it's automatically going to activate. If they have their lights and sirens activated, lights and or sirens activated, it will activate. If the cruiser is involved in a collision, if the cruiser accelerates to a high speed, and then if the shotgun or rifle rack is disengaged, it will activate the camera. Now, our trial will also include holsters, 100 holsters that will activate the camera when a weapon is removed from the holster.
In terms of like the officer would still have to physically turn on outside the cruiser?
Outside of all of those scenarios I just gave you, an officer would have to manually activate the camera. Correct.
I also want to add a very important feature is that not only does the car activate the officer's camera, but any officers around that cruiser will be activated. Axon in their literature states 30 feet, but our 6-week field trial showed it went beyond 30 feet.
So with the 100 holsters, is that something you're planning on implementing with all officers, or is that just still kind of a trial thing?
We're going to do a trial period. So, for example, not all of our officers are in a cruiser. You have officers on bicycle and horse, etc., walking. For those, we want to ensure that there's also these automatic activations. So we're going to do a 100 field trial, 100 officer field trial, and then we'll see what the results are and go from there.
So will these body cameras be put on every single officer? It sounds like you're buying enough for every officer or member of the department. But will they be put on covert officers, the mayor's security detail? Will everyone get one of the body cameras?
So every officer will have a camera. Sometimes everyone is on deck. The protest of last year showed that every person is on deck working in a public-facing job. With respect to those public-facing jobs, they will have a camera. With respect to the undercover, one would not be undercover by wearing, you can see the cameras over here that Axon will go through, one would not be undercover wearing that. So we will rely on the chief, I think, in her discretion to make those choices with respect to non-public facing positions.
SWAT officers will also have them. That is not currently the case, correct? Though, are they? They do have them now? Okay.
There's some advantage with the flex camera. Jeff, did you bring the flex?
We have one in there. Yep, we do. Yep,
If you want, Jeff will demonstrate the flex. It is able to go on tactical gear much more readily than the current cameras.
And does the $19 million, does that come from the general budget, or is that some of the money that you have budgeted within the safety department's budget?
I think all of that is part of our, part of the safety budget that was adopted by council for this year's general fund.
Yes, the first year of $7.5 billion, Mayor.
Yeah. So, and yeah, stick around. Jeff and the team are going to be doing a demonstration that might be really helpful for members of the press and the community that haven't seen this. And we'll stick around too if there are any follow-up questions or anything. Thanks, everybody.
Great to see you, Mayor.
Great to see you. Thank you, guys.
The,